Hello there, everybody. I'm Mel Allen, and this is Baseball Collector.
Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, Baseball Collector. Hope you're doing well. And I've got this really interesting topic that I want to discuss and go over with you guys. And it surrounds how we acquire our baseball cards, our sports cards, our collectibles, our memorabilia, whatever it is that we collect. And this is a topic that I've been thinking about how to approach it. And, you know, traditionally, a lot of us have acquired our stuff through, you know, kind of eBay, or we get stuff on COMC, or we buy stuff through forums like Blowout, or we buy stuff even on Facebook or Instagram. And we do that for most of the stuff we get, I would say. That's true for a lot of us. But I think there's an underutilized area of the hobby that a lot of collectors don't take advantage of, and that's the major auction houses. And I think that's for several reasons, or potential several reasons. Number one, I think it can be intimidating. I think that you're worried that people are worried about, oh man, it's only high-end stuff and I can't play in that arena or whatever. Or you don't want to go through the process of getting accepted to be able to bid and register and all that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, it is, to me, a way underutilized resource. There are so many auction houses out there. A lot of them, I'd say half a dozen or so, just had auctions ending in late November, early December. And it's not something I hear people talking about at all, for the most part, within the community about how they're acquiring stuff. Now, there are certainly some YouTubers that take advantage of the auction houses and utilize that path to acquire items, but it's a shockingly low number to me. And again, for those reasons that I just mentioned, I think people tend to avoid the auction houses. And I don't understand why. You can really get some good deals at the auction houses. And especially in times like this, when there's so many auctions going on that, they're all cannibalizing each other and you can only bid on so much stuff. And so you can really pick up some stuff at really great prices. Now, another part about auctions that probably just makes people go bananas is how many of them are out there. I mean, you've got Heritage auctions and Leland's auctions. You've got Golden auctions, Robert Edward auctions, Clean Sweep auctions, Small Traditions, SCP, Sterling, Memory Lane, Huggins and Scott. I mean, there's so many of them. How do you even keep track? Well, that's a great question. So the first tip I have for first piece of advice is kind of know when things are ending. Now, once you register with one of these auction houses, they will ping you with emails. You'll get catalogs in the mail. You'll know when their auctions are going off. Another way to do it is through a calendar. I'm going to put a link down below to a calendar that's on a website for Old Cardboard, which is a great website. But they have a calendar of all the events, all the major shows, and all the major auctions that are ending and when they're ending, and it just gives you a calendar list of all of them. So I encourage you to go look at that and maybe just try it out. But what I want to do to kind of give you an idea of some things to think about, because it's not maybe as simple as you might think. With eBay, for example, when you buy something, you're paying, you know what the shipping is. They typically will tell you in the eBay listing. And then you're going to have to probably add some applicable sales tax for your state. But you kind of know what your price is going to be, your end out the door price. With auctions, it's a little bit different. So I just had an auction end and I acquired a card that I'm really excited about through Hunt Auctions. And the card that I got is this one right here. So really excited to add that Joe DiMaggio to my collection. I'm really stoked about it. And what I wanted to do to kind of illustrate how auctions work, and that, again, that might be another thing that keeps people from bidding as auctions is they're just not quite sure how it works. Is I wanted to use my invoice from that auction to kind of go through some of it and hopefully help clear up some maybe fears or underlying uncertainties about how auctions work, and just kind of lay it out there and let you see kind of how it is. So here's my invoice from the Hunt auctions right here. And so what we're going to do is talk through that. I'm grabbing it right here so I can look at it with you. So it's here on the screen right now. And so you can see I won this on December 12th, so a couple days ago. And you can see over on the right what I got it for. I paid a hammer price, which is kind of the sold for price, of $516. So that's not where it ends, though. You think, well, that's a great deal, and it is. $516 would have been great if that's all I paid for this card, but it's not. Let's take a look over at what else happened. So the first thing you'll notice under the subtotals on the right there is that there's a buyer's premium. And the buyer's premium is important to know for every auction house that you might deal with, and they will vary. They'll vary anywhere from 15 to 25% added on to the hammer price, and it's called buyer's premium. It happens to be for Hunt that it's 17.5%, and so that's what that $90.30 is added on there. Then you get to add sales tax, and I'm in Texas, so there's the sales tax, $37.89, and then shipping and handling. And this is where they can really get you, because you're kind of at their mercy if you don't know beforehand what the shipping and handling is going to cost. They're sending me one slab, and they're saying it's going to cost $19.15 to send it to me. And there's not a whole lot you can do. I guess I could call them and argue, but you're kind of fighting an uphill battle. I know on the big stuff that I just won from, the Nolan Ryan big picture and a big picture signed by Hank Aaron and Warren Spahn, they wanted to charge me $110 to ship it. And I did call them and I said, okay, no, absolutely not. It's not going to cost you $110 to ship that. So they ended up charging me $55 to ship it, which I still thought was crazy, but what are you going to do? All right, back to the deal here. So the invoice. So they're charging me $19.15. Now they will insure it, okay, and it does require signature in this case. So they're having signature required, and so there's some cost there. So the total cost ends up being $663.34. So hammer price $516, out the door price $663. So that is 28% more than the hammer price. I just did the math for you because I didn't want you to have to break out a calculator or anything. 28% more. So you really have to keep those types of things in mind when you're bidding on things in auction, and in an auction house anyway. They're going to add buyer's premium. You need to know what that is before you even start. They're going to have potentially some sales tax and certainly some shipping and handling costs that might surprise you. And so when you add all that up, you just need to be keenly aware of those types of things that'll be on there. But that shouldn't stop you from investigating auction houses as a great source of items for your collection. Whether it be, and they'll sell all kinds of stuff, because it could be individual cards, it could be sets, unopened boxes, vintage cards, modern stuff, game used bats, signed baseballs, signed cards, Perez Steel signed stuff, you name it, jerseys, everything. You can find it in auctions over time if you're patient. And typically, again, you can find some really good deals. The price that I paid for that DiMaggio is about, what it is. It's $667. $663, whatever. That's a good deal. It's not like a screaming good deal, but it is. I'm certainly happy with the ultimate out the door price. And that's what I consider that I paid for the card. I didn't pay $516, I paid $663 because that's what's coming out of my bank account. Speaking of paying for auction house items, that's another thing. So auction houses do not accept PayPal most of the time. Sometimes they do, but very rare. They don't accept credit cards most of the time. And if they do, they're going to charge you an additional fee to cover the credit card processing fee. So most of them don't do that. It's typically check. In fact, you can see down here, let me throw up the invoice again. And you can see there that it says accepted methods of payment are cash, money order, or bank check, or personal check, or a wire transfer. Not accepted are credit card and PayPal. So I'm going to be writing a check to Hunt Auctions here tomorrow and get that off to them. And so you got to have the funds. It's not like you can put it on a credit card and then eventually pay it off. You can't use PayPal. So you've really got to kind of have your ducks in a row to make sure you have the funds to pay for your items. But that's, none of those things are, things you can't overcome. And look for items. I encourage you to go do that. Check out all those different places. You can just Google them or look at the cool list that I have, the link down below, and you can see what's coming up over the next few months. And they typically run in seasons. They'll have like right now, just kind of finished the winter season for all the auction houses. You'll have some more in the spring and the summer and the fall. So just keep an eye on that. Take a look at it. I encourage you to do that. Let me know what you think down below about this video. Tell me what you learned if you learned anything. I'd love to hear some feedback. Thanks guys for watching, and keep collecting.